Welcome to Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. I'm Rob Wilson.
And I am Tony Laquano.
So, Tony, let's talk about a movie that was the inspiration for one of my favorite video game series. And also just an excellent movie.
It is an excellent movie. And it's interesting because it's obviously not based off the video game. The video game was inspired by the movie. And most movies that are based off of video games tend to really, really suck.
Yes, but this wasn't a movie based off a video game. This is a video. There was a video game based off.
This was not based off it. This is the other video game itself.
Yes. So it's the other way around, and it works that way sometimes.
Yes. Well, you establish character and motivation first, right?
Yes. So that movie. First off, we before we mention the name of the movie, this one comes pretty much directly from some requests that we've gotten for doing a John Carpenter movie.
Yes.
So we're going to do a John Carpenter movie. And the first John Carpenter, we had not done a John Carpenter movie yet.
We have not done one yet. This will be our
John
first
Carpenter movie. And we decided that the first John Carpenter movie that we're going to be doing is Escape from New York, which, of course, is the basis for the Metal Gear Solid series of video games. Or at least the character of Snake Plissken is the inspiration for Solid Snake in those games.
And, we've discussed before, okay, well, when are we going to do a Carpenter movie? Like, oh yeah, we should do The Thing, or should we do Halloween? Right? Or,
both
any
great
number
movies.
of his,
both great movies.
There's lots of other movies, obviously, we could do. But, we have settled on Escape from New York. I think this is appropriate.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think this is my favorite John Carpenter movie. I mean, I do enjoy his other stuff. I do enjoy his other movies very much. But this, I think, might be... I think it's just... this one holds a special place in my heart that the other Carpenter
it's very
movies
unique.
Don't.
It has its own special character to it, or flavor, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say that, the other ones, like Halloween, The Thing... Vampires, if you like the James Woods vehicle from the 90s, or even Escape from LA. You prefer the sequel,
which if you prefer Escape from LA, then maybe you have to rewatch Escape from New York. Just saying. As much as I love the character of Snake Plissken, I mean, I'm not going to say Escape from LA is a terrible movie, an unwatchable movie, because it's not an unwatchable movie. Yes, it's bad, but it's the good kind of bad. It's the fun kind of bad. So it's definitely still watchable. It's just a lot goofier than this one is.
Yes. I know there's people that are fans of Big Trouble in Little China, or They Live.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Jeff Bridges fan, there's Starman, right? This is kind of slightly different. This has its own feel and flavor to it, though.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely separates it a bit from the others. And Carpenter has his own distinctive style, of course. And if you've seen enough of his movies, you understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And this, he has a lot of his usual actors in it. And this would be the first time he uses Kurt Russell.
Yeah, but not the last.
Not the last. Kurt Russell was actually not the favorite, the producers of the studio. They wanted Charles Bronson to actually play his role. John Carpenter's like, no, he's too old. So it's really because he worked with him on the Elvis TV series, miniseries, right? TV movie, excuse me. That prompted him. And it's interesting looking back at this, right? Because this is 1981, I believe.
Yes, 1981.
And so, at that time, Kurt Russell was, he had established himself as a name, but he was still kind of youngish and hadn't kind of fallen into a series of different roles. So you could see why maybe the studios might be reluctant, but John Carpenter was looking at it and it's like, well, I need a particular type of person for this role, and he's the right guy for it. And like you said, like he thought like Charles Bronson's too old, and he's also just concerned that Charles Bronson, being kind of a bigger star at that point, would have too much influence on the set. And if you look at, I mean, again, like we said, this movie has a very distinctive style,
Yes.
a very distinctive feel.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely didn't need that like disrupted from.
Yeah, definitely.
So I would say Tommy Lee Jones was also considered for the role.
That would be interesting.
And so was so it would have been interesting.
I can see Charles Bronson.
Norris.
I can see Charles Bronson. I can even see Chuck Norris.
Yes.
To a certain extent. But Tommy Lee Jones would be an interesting choice.
But thankfully, John Carpenter stuck to his guns. And because Kurt Russell's the perfect person for this role.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
And that's not to say like everybody else, all the other actors in this movie, because I was thinking about it, it's like, he's the kind of the young guy in this movie. Like, there's a lot of guys from like the 60s and 70s are just kind of these classic actors of that era.
Yeah.
That perfectly fill out this cast.
Yes. And, it's kind of funny that this movie didn't get, multiple sequels. It got Escape from LA, but that was 96 or 97. That was
over a decade later.
It was like 15 years later.
Yeah, it was mid-90s.
And I mean, because Snake Plissken is the kind of character that could have a franchise.
Yes, absolutely. And it's not like, so I mean, I don't want to say this movie has a cult following because it ended the year around 25, 26 at the box office. So it had a pretty solid run at the box office. So, it wasn't like it was a, like a bomb or kind of went under the radar. Like it had a solid showing at the box office. Right? It was enough to really even put Kurt Russell even further into like the A-list, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it never really developed a series of movies. That's actually a very good point.
Now, as we mentioned before, it did inspire a series of games.
But, yes, it did.
But yeah, it didn't get its own series of movies. Because I could totally see a new, it wouldn't necessarily have to be Escape from whatever, but a new Plissken movie coming out every couple of years.
It couldn't. They could have done like a sequel where he does something else, and then they could have even done like a prequel because it talks about his backstory.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It gives you just enough flavor to it that you kind of know it's there, but you want to know more details about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I'm sure we might discuss this once we get in the movie, but it's interesting how like even like on the inside, he's like this mythical like figure.
Everybody knows his name.
Snake.
Mm-hmm. You're Snake Plissken. Thought you'd be taller.
And he's got the perfect look for it with the eye patch.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, got the eye patch and the gray camo pants.
Yes. And the reason they settled on those, I looked at, I was reading about it, is, it had something to do with the filming, and it was the best way that those would, wouldn't be, it ended up being, from a production standpoint, the easiest thing to work with.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense because it
distracting.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really good on screen, especially with the backdrop of everything, and it's like just there's a lot of darker tones in the movie, like color wise.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It really fits with that. It fits with more of the urban setting.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it's and it's. I would like to. I mean, I wish I had more time to really look further into just even kind of the set design and all the work that went into it, because there's a lot of miniature work that's going on here, and there's a lot of set work, but do a great job of making it feel like a lived, at this point, kind of a desolate, lived-in part of like Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
Like they do very much do a good job of creating the world of New York within their own universe.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
So,
And it was also
but yeah,
it was good to see the Twin Towers in a movie again.
well, yes, I was going to bring that up because, I mean, I've seen it a few times, and the first time I saw it would have been after 2001.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good to see them again. It's kind of interesting, like how prominent of a role they actually like play in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then it makes sense from once they kind of lay everything out.
Yeah.
But it's for a while there, it was probably one of the movies where they were most prominently featured.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beyond
probably.
just being in the New York skyline.
Yeah.
Right?
Every movie that took place in New York, you always got that shot of the skyline.
Yeah. And if it was after early 70s, right? It would have the Twin Towers, right? Just like you'd have the Empire State Building in the background, but not every movie
the Chrysler
necessarily
Building
features the Empire State Building. Like King Kong features the Empire State Building, right?
Yeah.
One of the other movies I can think of right away where Twin Towers actually are part of the movie is when Kevin goes to visit them.
Yeah.
In Home Alone 2.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, they're a major landmark of the movie here. I always think about them in Die Hard with a Vengeance also, because there's a scene where Bruce Willis and Samuel Jackson are jogging, and they're framed like perfectly behind them on the block that they're running down, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, the other thing that's just great about the movie, though, I touched on it briefly, it's just the supporting cast in this movie is fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Lee Van Cleef, Ernest Borgnine, Donald Pleasance,
Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes. Come on.
Hayes.
I love the use of him because they keep him. He's just a name for a while, and he shows up over halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
And the payoff is perfect.
Yes. And he just has a presence in this movie that you believe that he's the Duke of New York.
You believe it. And it's not just how he dresses and presents himself. It's how he presents his automobile as well.
Yes. Why
we won't go there yet.
Why isn't that a thing?
Okay.
Why isn't that a thing in real life?
When I was thinking the same things, like, wow, like that actually makes a lot of sense, and I'm surprised that did not catch on in the 80s somehow.
I could totally see that in the 80s. Then we got Harry Dean Stanton, Adrienne Barbeau,
but Frank Doubleday, Tom Atkins, everybody's in this movie. But obviously not everybody, but it's quite the list. And it's funny, like, thinking about his car and this cast, like, I kind of like how it's like kind of set in the future, and it's like dark and not quite dystopian.
The future of 1981. It's the past now.
Yes.
It's almost 30 years in the past now.
It's almost 30 years in the past now. But like I like because like the movie itself, you can tell kind of has it like, at least in terms of some of the production of it, feels like, oh yeah, like this is like that bridge from the 70s to the 80s.
Yeah.
But then because they kind of set it into the future as they do, the late 90s, right? It kind of helps keep it timeless.
Yeah.
Except for having Isaac Hayes in it, I guess. But again, he's got some damn fine presence himself. I mean, it's Isaac Hayes. How can you not like Isaac Hayes in the movie?
Exactly.
Maybe we need to do Shaft one day.
Maybe.
It's one of his. But who else? I think we got most of the actors are in this.
Yeah, most of the major ones anyway.
Yeah. There's a few small roles, but it's funny. It's actually like it's a decent sized cast, but there
are several people in this movie. It's just a lot of them are tiny roles.
Yes. There's like a dozen names in here that, are worth noting, and they're really the primary people, aside from just a few others.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Unger was had his scene cut.
John Contini plays a guy named Eye Patch Prisoner.
Well, there you go.
He was uncredited.
That was one of the guys just it's interesting just looking at it. Like, there's a few gangs where it's kind of, a bunch of extras playing people just chasing like Snake. Where there's probably a few other people in that, but yeah.
And
it's a manageable cast.
By the way, there is one person that we did not mention that is in this movie.
Okay.
That has been in another movie, actually 3 other movies that we've done.
Okay.
We have Buck Flower, who played Red the bum in the Back to the Future movies.
Ah.
He plays a bum in this too.
Oh. Hey, Robert Zemeckis watched this. He's like, I need you for my 3 Back to the Future movies.
He's credited as drunk in this movie.
Well, he's drunk in the...
But he's dressed and looks just like he does in Back to the Future. So maybe he's a drunk bum. But anyway. He makes an appearance in this movie. Also.
He's been in a bunch of John Carpenter movies, actually. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking them up right now.
He was also in They Live.
He's in They Live. He was in Starman. He was in a TV episode or maybe TV movie of Power Rangers in Space. So that they have him play a lot of homeless people.
Well, he does it well. He's convincing.
Got the look now.
He's got the look.
Yeah, Wishmaster, he plays homeless man. He some TV movie called or directed like VHS movie, Mom, Can I Keep Her? He plays homeless man. Here he plays motel manager in The Pretender. Okay. Another Power Rangers episode where he plays a homeless man. So plays another episode, another series of Power Rangers, this time as a bartender.
So he plays a lot of homeless people, just like William Hootkins always played a bunch of people whose names referenced his size, his corpulence.
Yeah, well. Oh, here we go. He played a movie called Deep Jaws, where his character is porno crew member.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Another movie from this one's from the 70s. He plays a beggar. He was actually in The Fog also, so there's another John Carpenter movie. He was in an episode of Dukes of Hazzard.
All right.
So this movie has 2 actors, though, that we've had in multiple movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because we finally had a Kurt Russell. Well, I guess the first, like we said during Breakdown, Kurt Russell has a brief speaking role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
But, yeah, a bunch of these other actors that we have not done.
Yeah, this is our first Leaving Leeds. It's our first Ernest Borgnine. It's our first Donald Pleasance. First Harry Dean Stanton. First Adrienne Barbeau. First Isaac Hayes.
Yep. Which again, we could do Shaft, where he has a role uncredited. We could do South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. I was going to
say we could do South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
So yeah, it's a very nice cast overall, and again, they all fit their roles well, and they all inhabit this world.
And I love the music in this movie.
Well, that was the thing I was going to bring up beginning, because it's the first thing you kind of hear in the movie is the music, and the music's terrific because like John Carpenter was like kind of like co-director or co-producer of the music as well.
Yeah, he does that with a lot of his movies.
With Alan Horth.
Mm-hmm.
And it fits well because like it's kind of 80s-ish, but not also. It blends, it's distinctive enough to, again, could fit, any time period that and it's used appropriately, and they find the right mood for each of the different scenes.
I mean, the music that plays during the credits has been playing pretty much nonstop in my head since I rewatched this movie the other day.
Yes, I could absolutely see that. That makes a lot of sense.
And I'm not complaining about it.
Yeah, no, there's no reason to complain about that. It's, again, the music is very good.
Yeah.
And a very underrated film score.
Yeah, so shall we get into it, or is there more?
I think we could jump into it, yes.
All right. Well, then, as always, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about this entire movie, beginning, middle, and end. So if you have not seen it, you don't want to be spoiled, then pause the podcast, watch the movie, and come back and listen. If you have seen the movie or you just don't mind being spoiled, then keep on listening. But you have been warned. We're going to be spoiling this amazingly awesome movie. So.
And yeah, it's 45 years old, so.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. And at the same time, like, there's a lot of cool things that happen in this movie that maybe you don't want spoiled if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Because it is quite a ride to go on.
Yes, that it is.
It is enjoyable to just kind of sit back and go through what happens in this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, although I did forget to mention, this movie does it holds a special place in my heart.
Okay.
As several movies do. It was the first time I saw this movie, right? I, of course, didn't see it in the theater because it came out before I was born. By just a few years. But, yeah, I'm old. So are you. You're older than I am. But, anyway. So, my brother-in-law got me hooked on Metal Gear Solid for PlayStation.
Right.
All right. And, you know, this is before any of the sequels come out. I mean, there were still like the NES and Famicom games, you know, from there, but the first in the actual Solid series. And I was playing that game pretty much nonstop. And this is in high school. And I think it was my sophomore year in high school that I was playing this game like nonstop. Maybe it was junior year. Either way, I found out that, you know, Snake in the game was based off of Snake Plissken from Escape from New York.
Right.
So I'm like, maybe I should watch that movie. So I went to Blockbuster and they had it. And I rented it. And I watched it. And I loved it.
And you loved it.
And I watched it again.
And you watched
it again.
Then again. And I was like,
I think,
maybe you're watching down there,
Rob? I
Rob?
watched it like at least 3 times in that one rental period.
Hey, not going to blame you because it's pretty awesome.
But yeah, no, it's just I learned about it from Metal Gear. It was one of my favorite games. So I'm like, well, then I should check out this movie that, you know, this character's based on. And yeah.
Metal Gear is rightfully regarded as one of the greatest video games of all time. So I could see how you'd be more than interested in checking out the movie that inspired that game. Just to see how awesome that movie might be.
Yeah.
And this movie is awesome.
It is very awesome. So that's the main reason.
I can't wait to talk about Isaac Hayes' car.
Yes. But no, that's the main reason why this movie is probably my favorite Carpenter movie, because I I don't have that kind of history with his other movies.
Right. Yes.
You know, I mean, yes,
I get it.
Awesome movie, but it also has that added, bonus of, coming to me at a particular time in my life.
Time.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I think that makes a lot of sense.
So
yeah, it all checks out. So yeah, I don't think I actually first saw it until it was a probably a Netflix rental. Maybe I'd seen it before once and wasn't really paying attention. I can't remember.
Did we watch this one together?
I think we've seen it at least once together.
I'm trying to remember if this is one of those ones that we watched.
But I'm surprised it's one that we don't watch more often, to be honest.
Yes, but I'm trying to remember if this is one of those ones that we watched when we had our Wednesday night movie nights.
Yes. Kind of like how we somehow didn't watch Con Air a lot.
Mm-hmm. We should have.
Somehow we didn't watch this one very much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For different reasons. They're very different movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though they have some terrific stuff in both of them.
Yes. Yes.
This doesn't have John Cusack and John Malkovich and mullets that flow without wind.
Kurt Russell does have some pretty great hair in this movie.
He does have some pretty great hair.
I mean, I'm not sure. It doesn't hold a candle to Nick Cage hair in Con Air, but
I'm not sure how
pretty great hair.
Snake has that great of hair in this particular universe, but I'm okay with it. I'll roll with it. Yeah. So I think we can get in to the movie.
I think so.
Which begins with the music, like you were talking about.
The music. And then you get one of those, paragraphs coming up on the screen.
Yeah, the voiceover gives you the basic premise of this universe that the movie has created in the background of it. And then helps also just kind of start to set up the plot, right?
So basically, this movie, it was made in 1981, but so it's a dystopian future. And essentially, but the voiceover says something about in 1988, the crime rate in America is like
exploded
to like 400% higher,
something along those lines
than it's ever been. And so they decided to, rather than have prisons all over the place, have one big maximum security prison for everybody.
And they put it in Manhattan, Manhattan, not in Manhattan. No, the entire island of Manhattan. So
they surrounded the entire island of Manhattan with a big wall, like a 50-foot wall, completely encircling the island.
Right, goes through both rivers around it.
They planted mines,
seal off the tunnels.
They planted mines on all of the bridges, so that if anybody tried to escape, they'd blow up. And they sealed off all the tunnels. Everything.
Do they have any like mines in the rivers, water mines?
Yes, there are mines in the water too.
Yeah. So they have this, like, if you swim across, but they got, and just like any prison, on the outside of it is where they have all your security personnel.
The United States Police Force.
The waters, the air. They got helicopters to monitor what's going on. They can to see it, like, oh, there's someone, there's a raft trying to cross in sector whatever, right? And then what will happen is a helicopter will come down and give them 60 seconds to turn. Not even 6. It's like 10 seconds to turn the raft around.
And then when they don't, they start firing some warning shots. And then when they still don't, they sink the raft.
So that's the basic thing. They'll fly in like food drops so that they have food, right? Because it's it is a city island. It's not like there's a bunch of wild animals that they can hunt.
Yeah, so so the whole Manhattan was turned into a prison in 1988. The movie takes place in 1997.
1997, right? So it's been almost 10 years since this has happened, right? So, and America itself has kind of devolved more into like a dystopian type state,
a police state.
A police state,
basically.
exactly. So that's the basic start of the movie. And it's just I think it's enough for us to understand what there is, and it's enough for us to buy in to the premise. And shortly we'll get a little bit more exposition about how things operate from the prisoner's standpoint on the inside.
Yeah.
Right.
So
we get enough
during this whole
to understand on the other side. Anyway, go on.
During this whole opening montage kind of thing, where they're showing the raft out in the water and the helicopter and all that, but they keep cutting back to outside of right outside the walls to the basically prisoner processing station.
Yes.
And we're shown, we have Kurt Russell there, who's he's in cuffs and he's being led through the halls and all that.
And before he's led through the halls, we see that the Statue of Liberty, right? Ellis Island, right, is on the outside of the prison.
Yes. So Liberty Island.
They did
Liberty
not
Island,
include that when they fenced it around.
Yeah. So they fenced around the island of Manhattan. And then
Manhattan, right?
Liberty
so Brooklyn,
Island,
the Bronx, Queens, the rest of New York City is not part of it, right?
Liberty Island,
Liberty Island
is the headquarters.
Yes,
it's the main monitoring station for the prison,
right?
It's where the United States Police Force, make their home base. And so we see
Kurt Russell being led
through.
I like how it's very organized. They have a lot of very good directions for the prisoners about how they're going to be led, the processing.
Yeah. And you have different colored lines going down the floor for where you're going, the different areas. And they have a room off to the side for if you don't want to go and get locked up in New York, you could just hop in an electric chair. They give people the option of
yes, well, it's very
up in New York, or we'll just kill you right here
on an island for the rest of your life.
Then we'll make the rest of your life happen as soon as possible.
Honestly, at that point, if you're thinking about that second option, you might as well just go ahead and try to take some of the people with you that are there. Go out in a little bit of a blaze of glory, right?
There's just this room off of the hallway that's just full of electric chairs.
Yes. And it's presented so nonchalantly.
Yeah.
What's behind door number 2? Oh, it's a gas chamber. But Snake, thankfully, does not choose that option, because if he did, then we would not actually have a movie.
No, we would not. We would not. But see, we still don't know why Snake's there. Well, we don't even know his name is Snake yet.
We don't even know that.
We just see Kurt Russell, and he's got an eye patch, and he's got hair, and he's yeah. I mean, we
got a guy that's dressed darkly, and he's got an eye patch, and he's got magnificent hair.
Yeah. And so then, it cuts to Air Force One flying in the air, and it goes to the conference room in there, and we have Donald Pleasance. We found out that he is the president.
Which is so strange, to be honest.
Yeah.
To me, he just needs to always have a cat and be plotting.
Yes, exactly. Plotting James Bond's demise.
He gives James Bond the option of getting imprisoned on an island, or he could take the route of the room with the electric chair. That's not what happens, though.
No.
Well, before we get the conference room, right? we have a scene with some of the security personnel there talking about how there's an unidentified aircraft first, and then they realize it's Air Force One.
That's right. It's an
And we
unidentified
see
aircraft.
the head,
then
security guy, played by Lee Van Cleef.
He plays Hauk.
Yes. And Police Commissioner Bob Hauk, right? And then they realize it's Air Force One. And they're kind of concerned about this, right? And that's when we kind of cut in and we have that. And first we see, again, excuse me. Yeah, first it's just that conference room with the president and his advisors and
his chief
everybody else.
And
But then it cuts to the cockpit.
And the cockpit has a woman in the pilot's seat. Then she gets on the radio. And
this is Nancy Stevens, by the way, is the actress. And she has
she's basically disguised as a stewardess, so she takes over the cockpit of the plane. And she gets on the radio and she starts announcing her intentions. And she represents,
it's not a ransom. No, I mean she just intends, it's like a suicide mission.
Yeah, she represents a group, a terrorist organization. And they're fed up with what the United States is doing, and they're gonna crash Air Force One into New York, which sounds kind of familiar. 20 years before it happened.
It does, yes. I beyond the World Trade Centers being prominent in this, that aspect was kind of eerie also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
by the way, we also were introduced to Captain Remy in that earlier scene, who is like one of the section commanders of the police force, played by Tom Atkins. And the president's name is John Harker, by the way. Donald Pleasant's President John Harker.
And this is not the first time that John Carpenter has worked with Donald Pleasant.
Yes.
He was also in
Halloween. It is not. I was to say he was in Halloween also. So, I mean, he's got quite a few actual, prominent, roles in movies. But, yeah, and so we also find out that the plane Air Force One was supposedly was going to be en route to Hartford, right? Mm-hmm. There's a summit about considering nuclear fusion.
Yes. Yes, and the president was going to give a speech about it.
And hopefully to kind of bring peace between other nations.
Yeah. He had recorded his speech on a cassette tape.
Right.
And so he was going to go there and play it. So I love how
he's
they had the
play
tape.
His speech. He's not going to give a speech. He's just going to play a speech on a cassette tape.
Play it. He'll introduce it and then he'll play it. And I love how they keep the tape in a briefcase like the nuclear football.
Yes, I love it. Hey, if Christopher Walken was around, he'd hide it in the only place he knew. His ass. 3 long years. This uncomfortable piece of plastic, rectangular plastic and tape up my ass.
Don't worry, that movie's coming soon.
Anyway, so the National Liberation Front of America, though.
Yeah, that's right. The National Liberation Front of America.
Right, and so she's over on the radio. She's killed the pilots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they cut back to the little situation room there in the Air Force One, and we got to get them into the pod.
Yeah, we got to get them in the pod. So they get the president to the escape pod in Air Force One. And, they launch it because they know the plane is going down. So they, launch the pod, and they put a tracking device on him. They give him a little watch with a tracking device. And so the pod gets launched out of the plane, and then the plane crashes into the ground. Thankfully, not into any buildings. Crashes into the ground.
Yes. So, yeah, that would make it even kind of creepier.
Yeah.
So, already some creepy aspects enough as we've stated.
Yeah.
So, but, so they send in a team, right, to go and check for the president, right? Because again, like you said, they had a tracking thing on it. So they know where the plane crashed, and then they see that at first when they send them in that the tracking has not moved yet. So they send in a team to go looking for him.
Yeah. So Lee Van Cleef, Houck, leads a team. They come in a couple of helicopters.
That's right. Lee Van Cleef goes with them. That's right. He does.
And,
thank you.
They get out. They find the pod, but the president is nowhere near the pod. So they start to fan out to go look for him. And this one guy.
I love this entrance.
Yes.
Oh, my. What a great way. This really helps set the tone of the movie.
Yes, it does.
Right here.
Yes, it does. I love this guy. His hair is all messed up like a troll doll. It's all sticking up in the air.
He kind of looks like he's sharpened his teeth a bit, right? Like he kind of looks like a really mutated version of Christopher Walken.
Yep. This guy's played by, his name is Romero. He's played by Frank Doubleday.
Yes. And just the lighting behind him.
And if you look at his IMDb page, his IMDb picture is from this movie.
Yes.
It's his character from this movie.
And right away you realize this guy is like in an island that's probably full of people that are really off. He's probably one of the scariest people on the island.
Yeah. He's just like, he's crazy. Like you look at him and you think crazy, like legitimately crazy.
Yes.
But he comes up and tells them, we have the president. And you are going to get back in your helicopters and go back to your base. Or we'll kill him. And just to prove that they had him, he holds out a handkerchief and gives it to Houck, and Houck opens it up, and it's a finger with the president's ring on it.
Yep. That's enough for Houck to right? He orders his men back to the helicopter, and they leave.
He said, you have 30 seconds to get airborne, or we're killing the president. And so they get in the helicopters, and they leave. So then, I guess it's lucky that they were in the process of processing Kurt Russell back at
that time, yes.
At the time, because next
if it
we
been
have...
a day later, a day later, or even 2 hours earlier. Right?
Yeah, so the next thing we have...
would have been different.
Houck is in his office, and Kurt Russell gets brought to him.
Yep. I love the setup of the office.
Yeah.
Right? Again, there's a lot of shadow to it, but then it's like, you could tell like it's a kind of a golden paint that's in there. But allows, the only like things you can really see in it are Houck and Snake.
Yeah. This is where we learn that his name is Snake Plissken.
Yes. And does Houck uses his full name or just the last name?
I think he calls him Snake first, and then Snake tells him, call me Plissken.
That's right.
In his very Kurt Russell way. Call me Plissken.
Right. And he decides to take a cigarette for himself.
He's still cuffed.
Yes.
But he's cuffed in the front. And
he realizes that there's going to be some type of deal that's being offered him. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
But he definitely is not trusting of the government or Houck.
But we find out that there's a reason why. I mean, obviously there was a reason why he was called into Houck's office. But we found out why he was there in the first place. He was arrested because he had robbed the Federal Reserve.
Which I think is perfect. I mean, granted, Donald Pleasance was not the character that tried to rob the Federal Reserve, but I think it's perfect that there is a Bond villain that's in this movie.
Yes.
Given that,
Even though it's Fort Knox, not Federal Reserve.
It is Fort Knox. Yeah, isn't that one of the Federal Reserves there? I don't know.
No,
anyway.
Die Hard with a Vengeance was the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
But
anyhow,
yeah, Goldfinger was Fort Knox. But anyway, still, U.S. commerce.
Yes, Treasury, all that, right? So they're talking,
and so right. we also Houck gives a little bit of a backstory on Snake, and he's ex-Special Forces. And he is highly, highly, highly trained.
Highly trained, right? He's gone to Siberia to do excursions. He's been all over the world doing
Basically,
special ops.
He is the perfect person for this mission that they have to go and try to get the president back. And so he offers him a pardon.
Just like Sean Connery is the perfect person to break into Alcatraz. Mm-hmm. Snake is going to be the person that's going to break in and then break out of Manhattan.
Yes. So Houck offers him a full pardon if he cooperates.
A full pardon.
If he's able to get in there.
And he still needs to think about it. Out. But yeah, he wants to think about it still. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I could not trust in them. Probably a good move. Though, Hawk's not the shadiest of characters potentially.
Yeah. So basically all of this needs to be done within 24 hours. Because in 24 hours that summit is going to happen.
Yes, because there is a deadline back to that summit. Yes.
And so, Snake after a few minutes he agrees.
And Hawk was also kind of wondering through all this, why have you turned to crime like this, instead of
you were a highly decorated Special Forces. Wasn't he a major?
Yeah, he had a high ranking. Yeah,
but yeah, so they take him to get his equipment, and they give him a revolver with a big scope on it.
Yes,
and
love his gun.
They give him a Mac 10. With a giant suppressor on it.
Yes.
Which
I love.
And that also has a scope on it. On the suppressor.
I love that gun.
Me too. And
it's used perfectly in this movie.
Yes. And apparently Quentin Tarantino loved that gun also because that is the gun that John Travolta uses in that movie.
Yes. Not, yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll leave it there. If you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, which we have now referenced twice in this episode.
Yeah.
Hint. If you want to know, hint. See if we can reference it again somehow before the end of this episode.
So, anyway, so then he's also given. He's given a watch with a timer on it that's showing his, the time that he needs to have the president out by. At this point,
yes,
they got 22 hours.
And he looks at it, and he sees it's less than 20. He's like, I thought I had 24 hours. Like, well, we've spent an hour talking.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And he's also given another watch with an eagle.
And they give him a little tracking device.
Yes.
He can.
Yeah, so it's this little, it's this watch with a flip open eagle head on it that, there's a button underneath it that if he pushes that, then it activates a tracking device. So they know where he is so they can come and pick him up. And then in order to, because they think maybe he might just want to stay in there, or he might escape and then run off.
Before they do that, they give him a brief rundown we get a little exposition about kind of the groups on the island.
Yeah,
also
that too.
They talk about how they have some cars there, and some have run. They figure out how to run on steam. We believe they've figured out a way they have some electricity, right? They talk there's this group called the Crazies. They've gone in, they've taken over the subways, right? They give it a basic brief, a little break, kind of not recon, right? But it's a nice briefing of what's the current situation on the island, so he would know what he
has an idea
what he might
of
expect to meet up with.
Yeah,
right. But as you're saying, maybe he doesn't want to go ahead with the mission. They need a failsafe.
Mm-hmm. So he has his doctor buddy come up, and he has two injector guns, and puts them on each of his carotid arteries.
And at first, he's not going to do it, right? And then he eventually, okay, yeah. It was, right on his arteries there.
Mm-hmm. He hits it, and then, Snake, at first, I'm sure he just thinks it's, the standard thing, just like giving him a shot of something. But then the doctor tells Hulk, he's like, all right, now tell him. Because Hulk probably wasn't going to tell him what just happened to him.
Nope.
And so he tells him that he was just injected with 2 microscopic capsules, basically.
Yeah, and there's little bombs inside these capsules.
And so when they dissolve,
they will explode inside his arteries
in 22 hours. So
it's like, take them out.
Yeah. So he's like, don't worry. As long as they're, within 2 minutes of the explosion, we can neutralize them with X-rays. So if you get the president out, then we'll neutralize the bombs in your neck. It's not big explosions, but just about the size of a pinhead, but just big enough to rupture those arteries.
Yes.
And you'll bleed out.
Yeah. Does not sound like a pleasant way to die.
No, it does not.
So now it's a good thing that he told them, because it probably, it actually gives him more motivation to actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the thing that keeps him motivated to actually see things through.
Yeah. So then
if he was not aware of it, he probably would just been like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah. I'm Snake Plissken. I can do what I can get through anything.
I can do what I want.
Whatever. I do what I want. So we find out that another reason why they selected him for this mission is because he is trained in the method that they're going to use to get him onto the island. He's one of the few people who's actually trained to fly this glider.
Which, I think it's legitimate that you have to find a method to get on there pretty quickly. Thankfully for them, one of the few people that's able to fly it
just happened to have just been arrested.
To get arrested was being processed at the time. Air Force One was being crashed into Manhattan.
Because they couldn't have gone and arrested him for this mission because the mission hadn't happened yet.
No, it's not like they arrested him on some Trump up charge.
No.
So that he could do this mission.
They arrested him, and he just happened to be there.
No, he was legitimately arrested. And then as he was being processed, this happened.
So he was given door number 3.
Which is good for him and good for the president.
He was given door number 1, going to New York. Door number 2, the electric chair room. And door number 3, this rescue mission.
Door number 4, my man Jules Winfield in Inglewood.
There's 3.
That's my bad, motherfucker.
So anyway, so they get him all set up with the glider, and
and then they tell him when he lands, he's gonna land on the World Trade Center.
So he's gonna land on the top of the World Trade Center
to activate an elevator. And he'll go down to the 50th floor. The elevator will take him to the 50th floor, and then he's got to walk down the rest of the way. He's got to walk
down because that elevator is not going to go down any farther than the 50th floor. So he's got to walk down the stairs the rest of the way. But yeah, they're going to have him land on top of the World Trade Center because it'll make it that a lot easier to get out if he's that high up. Then he can just push the glider off the side and pick up an updraft and fly out.
Again, he's going to have to get the president 50 floors up.
Mm-hmm.
Walking up 50 floors is a lot harder than walking down 50 floors.
Yeah. And also, I didn't see a second seat in that glider.
No.
Is the president going to sit on his lap?
Want to make spoons?
4. But
I'm sorry. It was there.
It was. So yeah, so he's going to land on top of the World Trade Center. So what I think is cool is back when I first saw this movie, it was it was on the DVD that I was watching. It had, it had special features like a lot of DVDs do. And so I was watching sort of behind the scenes thing featurette on it. And this scene in the glider, when he's looking at the screens and it's showing, basically the wireframe depiction of New York, they did not have like CGI. This was 1981.
Yeah,
CGI was still in its infancy. And so they didn't really have, the technology to create these sort of 3D looking, depictions of New York. So they went in and they drew it all, like line by line, in the computer.
Yeah,
to create this wireframe New York.
Yeah, no, it's
and it's very impressive for the time. So
it's very impressive. There's a lot of detail in this movie. I mean, they did a fantastic job on the production value of it. Like even like you get a little miniature set of Manhattan that you see as he's flying over it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's like super well done.
Yeah. So he gets in there, he lands on top of the World Trade Center, and he's going a little bit fast when he hits, and when he lands on it, he releases a grappling hook that hooks onto the building while he's sliding up to the end, and he's about to go off the end of the building when the cable reaches the end and it stops the glider from going off the edge.
Right.
So he gets out, he goes over, there's the little electrical box next to the elevator door, opens that up, flips a switch, and you can get in the elevator and take it down to the 50th floor.
Yep. He radios over, to Liberty Island, and he just tells them, I'm here, I'm going down to 50th, right? So they know he's landed safely, right? And he's going down, right? And he gets down to the 50th floor, he gets out, he looks around, right? And then he starts his descent down the steps.
And they've also given him a little tracker to be able to track the president's.
That's right. They have the tracker that he can track the president. Thank you.
So he gets out of there and he's walking through Manhattan.
And he's able to use the tracker, and he finally finds the crash site.
Yeah, he finds the crash site, finds the pod, there's nobody there. Finds the plane, nobody's there. And he
sees the pod. Pod's empty.
And so he keeps following the tracker, and it leads him to this club. It's like an old theater.
Yep. He goes in the old theater. He walks in, and there's people kind of coming in and out of it, and then he walks in the actual like theater part of it, with all the seats and the stage, and it's like an old like vaudeville show going on.
Yeah, and
on the stage,
there's a man sitting down watching it, and that's Ernest Borgnine,
and he's enjoying this show.
He is enjoying the hell out of this show.
He's got an old time cabbie's hat on. And he's just smiling. He's laughing. This seems like the best time he's had since he's been. Whatever I want to know what crime he committed.
See, I'm wondering if maybe he didn't commit a crime. Maybe if he was just in New York, because his cab, he says it's the same cab he's been driving for 40 years.
I did consider this also, that maybe he just never left Manhattan after they walled it off.
That's my thoughts on it, because he says he's been driving that same cab for 40 years. And the walls didn't go up until 1988.
Right.
And this was 1997.
It's
been 9 years.
By this point, he's probably something like 70 years old, right? And yeah.
Yeah, so the place has only been a prison for 7 years, or for 9 years, I mean. It's only been a prison for 9 years. He's been driving that same cab for 40, which makes me think that he was just there when they put the walls up.
He's like, you know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving my home. You got to make me.
But maybe he was a cab driver somewhere else, and he got arrested and thrown in there, and they let him take his cab with him.
Yeah.
And that could be too.
It could be, yeah, it's a possibility. But so while he's watching this show, Snake, he's just casually walking down with the tracker in hand, right? He doesn't care what he looks like. Nope. He's just going to do what he's doing.
Yep.
He's
got a mission.
Try to complete his mission as quickly as possible.
Because he doesn't want to die.
Right. And so he kind of sneaks out one of the side exits that goes into another hallway of the theater. Right. And he's trying to find.
He's trying to find the president.
President, sorry. And then he hears a voice from behind him, and it's the cabbie. He's like, "You're Snake Plissken."
You're Snake Plissken.
He's like, he seems excited about this.
Yeah.
Right. And again, like, okay, so let's assume.
So apparently he knows what he looks like. He's never met him. I guess Snake is like a notorious criminal. He's a well-known person. If people who have been in New York, in the prison of New York, since its opening, since the prison was created there, if they know who Snake Plissken is, then he's made a name for himself.
What does Snake Plissken look like? Does he look like
Snake Plissken look like a bitch? 5. But anyway,
but Snake, but Snake kind of just ignores him, and he starts walking down further. And Cabbie says he don't want to walk down there, but Snake doesn't care about that because he's Snake Plissken.
Because he's going after the president. He's trying to get him out of there. And so he comes up to where the president should be, but he's not there. Turns out somebody else has taken the president's tracking device.
Yep, and it's on some other homeless dude. They put it on this homeless dude in this old movie theater.
Was this? This wasn't Buck, was it?
I'm thinking it might be.
Yeah, I think this was Buck Flower. George Buck Flower. Yeah. He had the tracking device, and Snake sort of just, he asked him where he got it, but couldn't really get a straight answer out of him.
Nope. The guy just kind of laughs at him. This crazy old homeless dude.
Yep.
Essentially. So, yeah, he's of no help, and so he gets off on the streets, and now he feels hopeless. He feels like there's no way I'm going to be able to find him.
And then Ernest Borgnine comes up again. He's like, I know where the president is. Or at least I know who we can talk to.
Well, he doesn't see him yet. I thought he says that after he escapes from the crazies.
You're right, because he comes and rescues him from the crazies.
He rescues him. So, because he's out in the middle of the street, and there's like an old office chair there or something. He just kind of sits down, and he feels defeated, and then he sees some guy come up out of a manhole.
Yes. Right?
And he just starts... Oh, it doesn't come... No. He sees some guy turn around the corner, and he starts clanging the manhole with like a lead pipe. Right? It's just kind of a clang, clang, clang. Right? And then he follows him, and then he hears the guy. He just every so often just tap a manhole cover, like clang, clang, clang. Right? And slowly, all these people start coming out of these manholes.
And now this guy that he's following, that's Romero.
Yes.
So good old Frank Doubleday. And so all these people start coming out of the manholes, and they surround Snake.
Yep. And he runs into an old kind of coffee counter shop, a chuck full of nuts. It's
chuck
full of rats. And then he gets to kind of the back of it, right? And there's the dude and John Goodman sitting there. And John Goodman's just, Walters is like, I'm finishing my coffee.
Yeah. I don't care.
Because he had friends die face down in the muck.
Yes.
So that they could have this little conversation among the crazies.
Yes. Absolutely. And so even though the dude, gets angry and gets up and leaves, Walter, he's going to stay. He's going to finish his coffee. So outside we have, a bunch of people.
Yep, and they're running by,
throwing a topless woman up and down on a trampoline, and you have one guy that's way too excited.
I was thinking about him after last week's episode, actually, because we have Warehouse Sweeper. Yeah, I thought, Warehouse Sweeper is probably one of our favorite background characters in the movie. Along with Too Excited Trampoline Guy.
Yeah. They should do a movie together. Warehouse Sweeper and Too Excited Trampoline Guy. In.
Jackie Treehorn can take care of that movie.
In Jackie Treehorn's The Dirty Trampoline.
You can imagine where it goes from here.
It's dirty in more ways than one.
There might be foot massages. There are 6.
6.
Okay. So he hears a voice, though. There's a woman back. It's a little.
Yeah.
And at first, she thinks he's like a cop, but then she sees that it's Snake Plissken. But this is
Snake Plissken.
Season Hubley plays this character.
She plays Girl in Chock full of Nuts.
Yes. And she kind of has like an 80s punk aesthetic to her, right? And she's like, no, Snake's like, how do we get out of here? She's like, you don't get out of here right now. Not during, not during the night. We're gonna be, we're stuck in here, but it's okay. They're not gonna get us in here. Of course, she's wrong, because they come up through the floor and they take her.
Through the floor, they take her. Yeah.
And so Snake has to, he needs to escape now. He has to get on out. So he goes out the other window. And,
I mean, this movie is called Escape from New York. So there's a lot of escaping.
Yeah, there has to be a lot.
There's a lot of escaping in this movie. They're not just escaping from New York itself. They're escaping from everything in New York, too.
Yes. So he gets out one of the windows, and he's being chased down some alleys, and
a taxi comes up.
He finally gets to the end of an alley. He's built up a little bit of a lead, but he needs to keep running. A cab shows up.
An old cab, like old cab, like from like the 50s.
From the 50s, yes.
Comes up and stops, and you see Ernest Borgnine, and he's calling to Snake. He's like, get in, Snake. So Snake gets in. And he's listening to this music on the cassette tape player. On the cassette player in there, because he must have added that. The tape player.
I mean, that's the way they make it seem like. And his car, the cab at this point, is also running on steam. Like, it can run on gas, he can get some, but generally he runs it off of steam.
Yeah. And so, it must have been an aftermarket tape player, because they didn't have those in the 50s.
No. They would have had it in the late 80s.
Yeah. Well, late 70s. Early 80s.
Yep. So. But he has a tape deck, and his cab also comes with Molotov cocktails.
Yes. Yes. So they're being chased. And he picks up a bottle. And stuffs a handkerchief into it and lights it and tosses it behind him.
There's something about Ernest Borgnine wearing an old-time cabbie's hat in an old-time cab,
throwing Molotov cocktails
out of
it. But anyway, it crashes on, like, the Molotov cocktail, breaks over on the windshield of the car behind him. And it catches on fire.
And so as they escape, he's so happy. He's like, wait till I tell Eddie that I have Snake Plissken in my
Snake
cab.
Plissken in my cab.
Hey,
I've been driving this cab for 40 years.
Esmeralda Villalobos gets Butch in her cab.
Yes. Esmeralda Villalobos gets Butch in her cab, and there's 7.
So, kill the other boxing man. What's it like to kill somebody? Anyway, so Snake asks him, do you know where the president is? Like, oh yeah, well I know everyone. Like the Duke has him. Everyone knows. Which I want to know. Like, this has only been a few hours. How does everyone know already the Duke?
Because
has the president?
I mean, when there's walls around the city, and the city's a prison, news travels fast.
I get that aspect of it, but like, Manhattan's still a big island. I'm sure there's some people that just want to hang out the north part of the island, not give much of a damn about everything else going on. So, anyway.
Yeah. So
Snake's like, oh, well, I want to meet the
Duke. I want to meet the Duke.
Like, you can't meet the Duke. He's crazy.
Duke. Yeah, but I can take you to somebody who can get you to the Duke. I can take you to see Brain.
Brain.
No, there's no Pinky in this movie. Just Brain.
No Pinky. Just Brain, played by Harry Dean Stanton.
Mm-hmm.
Who we're about to meet because he takes him down and see back to the main branch of the New York Public Library. Right? And Brain is the guy that helps supply gasoline.
Yes.
On the island. So the Duke relies on Brain for gas. And the Duke, as we find out, also has some not floor plans really, but he has kind of a map of the 69th Street Bridge.
Brain has a map.
Some person tried to escape, and so he has a map of where the mines are on the 69th Street Bridge.
Mm-hmm. So that the Duke can someday get across the bridge safely.
Right.
and
as we're going to find out shortly, the idea will be is to use that map and use the president as the kind of the bait or hostage to get across that bridge,
so that the guards that are on the wall won't shoot him.
So that's kind of setting up the larger plan of the movie.
Yeah. So they get to Brain's place. They get to the public library, and they're greeted by Adrienne Barbeau.
Yes. Because,
who plays Maggie.
Cabby, he kind of has a little knock that he does on the front door of the library, and she answers it. Right? And so
Maggie, Adrienne Barbeau, brings them in and takes them into Brain. And so what's interesting here is Brain, like we said, his headquarters is the New York Public Library. And it reminds me quite a bit of Lex Luthor's lair in the first Superman.
Yeah, I see that.
Like it's not like identical or anything, but it just has the same kind of feel to it. All the books everywhere, and and he's kind of with a name like Brain, you'd think of him kind of like a mastermind kind of thing and kind of person. But it just reminds me a little bit of that of Lex Luthor's lair.
I think it's perfect that he has a little oil derrick in there.
Yep.
Digging up some oil. He is providing fuel. He's refining some petroleum.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Makes a lot of sense.
It does. It does.
So what we find out, though, is that Brain's name is actually Harold Hellman.
Harold Hellman, and Snake knows him.
And he has a history with Snake.
Yes.
Snake is not too fond of Harold.
No, they've worked together in the past, and Harold kind of betrayed Snake.
Yes.
And so Snake he's not too happy to be running into Harold.
He is more than willing to just blow Harold's head off right there. But then he realizes that he does need Harold.
He does need him
to complete this mission.
He needs Harold to get him to the Duke so that he can get the president. So he doesn't blow his head off. And so, after they have their little reunion, we find out that Maggie
they're going to
go basically Harold's Brain's lover.
Yes.
She's basically his woman. And they decide that they're gonna help Snake. They're gonna get him to the Duke.
So as they're leaving, right? They they're about to start walking towards the Duke, but then they can kind of hear some music in the distance, and Harold knows what the music is. He knows it's the Duke's cars, his entourage,
the Duke's caravan.
And he kind of realizes that Duke's probably none too happy with him because he's been expecting these plans for the bridge. And he hasn't delivered them yet. Right? So.
And this is where we get the Duke's car.
Yes.
It's an old Cadillac. And up at the front, just above both headlights, on the sides of on either side of the hood, there are two chandeliers hanging, just like sticking up from the car.
Yep, they're sticking up like by the headlights.
Chandeliers,
they're dangling along.
It's brilliant. Why do we not see chandeliers on real cars, especially in the 80s?
Exactly. Yeah. Buzz Wallace's car should we never see his car? Maybe Buzz Wallace's car has chandeliers on it,
but it's also
in honor of the Duke.
It also kind of only fits on a Cadillac, though.
Yes.
I mean, maybe a Lincoln.
Cavalier.
Maybe a Lincoln.
Yeah.
But it.
Not a Daewoo Lanos.
No, not a Daewoo Lanos. But anyway, so
what happened to my Honda? Why are the chandeliers in my Honda?
Baby, I had to crash that Honda. 8. Let's see if we can make it a baker's dozen. But anyway, so
there's also a disco ball.
Yes, there's a disco ball hanging from the rearview mirror, taking up half the windshield.
Just in case John Travolta needs to dance to Uma Thurman.
9.
There is 9.
See, I thought you were going to go the other John Travolta route and go with Staying Alive.
Yeah, no, I had this. I had
Staying Alive reference.
Yeah, I had Audible.
Anyway, so just a great car. Chandeliers and a disco ball.
And I'm glad we get plenty of this car. This is not the only time we see this car.
We see this car plenty of times.
It's going to pop up several times over the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's really not a long movie. It's only about an hour and a half long.
Yeah, it's not a very long movie.
I think it's like an hour and 39 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the technical runtime, yes. So a little bit longer than Limey, but not by much.
But still not long.
Actually, it's a good length.
It is. It's a very good length.
So
it's a very good length because, yeah, I think it was longer than it is. Then it sort of, there would be places where it would drag on. So yeah, it's a good length.
Yeah,
yeah. So they're kind of hiding so that the Duke doesn't see them, and they wait for the Duke to pass. The Duke and his entourage, and then Brain and Maggie.
This is when
So the reason why they agreed to help Snake is because Snake told them that he could get them out of there.
Yes.
So he told them that they could tag along when he takes the president out.
Again, only room. Looks like there's only room for one.
Mm-hmm. But they don't know that. They don't know his method of getting out.
that they don't.
So he just promises them that, you know, he'll take him out of there with him, along with Cabby.
Along with Cabby.
Which,
all five of them.
Who wouldn't want to help Ernest Borgnine escape from New York?
Seriously, if you're gonna rescue anyone, it's gonna be Ernest Borgnine.
Yes.
As much as I love Harry Dean Stanton, it'd be
Ernest Borgnine is a much more lovable character in this movie.
Yes, he is. So, but sorry, Brain knows where they have the president, so they're gonna try to beat.
Yeah, they're gonna try to beat the Duke there so that they can get the president out right under the Duke's nose.
And he says, "Well, we gotta go down Broadway, right?" And it was like, "Well, then someone's objecting to like, you know."
Well,
yeah, but
first, so Cabby, Ernest Borgnine, had parked his cab down the street.
That's right. Thank you. I forgot about
his cab down the street, and you know he always feels bad leaving his cab unattended because it's very dangerous.
It's yes, it's very dangerous,
and he loves that cab. And so when they're trying to figure out what to do, that they got to go down Broadway. Then we hear the cab start up, and they look over, and Cabby's no longer with them. He has run over to his cab, and he's driving off and leaving them behind. And so now they got to get a new car. They got to get transportation.
That's right. They do.
Luckily, there's a station wagon nearby. So they hotwire it, and you know they're driving down Broadway, and they get attacked by, is it the Crazies again?
Oh, it was the Crazies, but there's essentially this whole gauntlet of people that they're driving down Broadway and they're smashing the car,
Mm-hmm. It's
right? They're trying
basically
to break into
turning
it.
turning it into like a demolition derby kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, good description.
And so, they're able to sort of escape a little bit, another escape, but the car's wrecked, so they got to leave it. But they're close enough to the Duke's hideout, to his headquarters.
Yeah. They it's essentially at an old like rail yard, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're able to ascertain quickly, well, at least quickly from one of the guards there, which car or train car that the president is being held in.
Mm-hmm.
So
And before they
go
can
down
get
to it.
to
And the
him,
plan is really to have, Snake is going to sneak off and around while the brain is going to kind of create a diversion
mm-hmm.
by talking to the one of the security guys there.
Yeah. And now before they can do anything, the Duke gets there.
The Duke gets there, yes.
You see his car pull up. His awesome car.
His marvelous green Cadillac with chandeliers.
And a disco ball. I mean, it's not, especially in that time, it wasn't uncommon to have a Cadillac have curb feelers.
Right, yes.
Little wires sticking out by the wheels to, that when, you're driving up, it'll rub up against the curb and you know how far away from the curb you are when you're parking.
Right.
You never saw them with chandeliers.
No.
It's sad that you never saw one with chandeliers except in this movie.
I don't know if it was part of the script. At what point John Carpenter decided this car is going to have chandeliers.
And that might be the best decision that John Carpenter ever made for a movie. Putting chandeliers on the Duke's car.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that he's made bad decisions in his movies. I'm just saying this is such a great, fantastic, marvelous decision.
Right. No, not at all.
That it may be better than any of his other movie decisions. A career
of marvelous decisions. This is at the top of those marvelous decisions. This is the pinnacle
of the marvelous decisions.
So, so he gets there, and Snake kind of sneaks into the car where the president's being held, and he kills one of the guards there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he lets the president, gets the president loose, right? And they think they're going to be home free.
Mm-hmm. But they're not.
Nope.
They get caught by the Duke and his people.
They're hiding the bowl of rice.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I forced that one, but that's number 10. Scour the earth for that motherfucker. Butch goes into China. Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
Yep. So anyway, they get captured, and Snake is put into a boxing ring.
Well, before that, he's not in the boxing ring yet, right? Because they had to. There's a few things that kind of happened before that. Right, because they take his watch.
Mm-hmm. They take his tracking device watch and his and also his other watch, his timer watch.
Yeah, so take both watches. It's important that it's both watches, and then they kind of tie him up. He's kind of just laying down,
and they take his guns, of course.
Yes, it's all important. That all this happens, all very important. All right, so he's kind of tied up there. They end up letting they don't kill off like Cabby or well, Cabby's not there yet anyway.
Yeah, Cabby's not there.
But they don't kill off
Brain or Maggie.
Brain at this point. So I'm trying to remember, all those details happen right there, but because they go back and we get a few shots of like Maggie and Brain kind of talking back into the lair about the situation, and we kind of cut back to the I guess this new little lair or holding area where they're holding Snake.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And at the same time, I guess Duke and Maggie, they decide they got to go back and rescue Snake because they realize he's probably the better way to escape, right? Because they're saying, like, the Duke has a means to escape.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, no, it's not going to work because of the time sensitivity, right?
Yeah.
So they find this, what? So we'll go back. We'll try to help Snake out because this is going to be the easiest way to survive, right? So they're going to go first to where the president is being held because now the president is in a separate area from where Snake is.
Mm-hmm.
They're both being held in different areas.
Yeah, they're not going to put them in the same place.
The Duke's, kind of headquarters.
The compound.
Yeah, compound. Good word. Excuse me. So they, we have the Duke wakes up, and he realizes he doesn't have either one of his watches, right? We've had scenes back at Liberty Island. It's like, we're running short on time. Mm. We haven't heard from Snake in hours, right? We may need to think about
sending a team.
Actually, sending a team.
And
Hawk is like, against this. Like, no, he needs more time. He's convinced that Snake is alive and still trying to complete the mission. Because he knows who Snake is.
Yeah.
Like,
so then we get the Duke with the president. The president's tied up.
That's right.
And the Duke has Snake's Mac 10. And he's kind of shooting around the president.
Yeah, he is.
Just messing with him.
Oh, yeah, just messing. Yep. Shooting just neatly around him. Scaring the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And then he finally ends up shooting the briefcase, right? And it falls open. And a cassette tape comes out, right?
Yeah.
And Romero's there. So Romero collects the tape.
Yes. And so...
Now, is Cabby in this scene? Who's in this scene?
Cabby's not in this scene.
Okay.
I think Brain and Maggie might be there too.
Yes.
But it's also important to note that the tape, like the label on the tape, is identical to the labels of all the tapes in Cabby's cap. It's like they used the same blank tape to record all this music.
Which, I mean, granted, I think, if they're doing something government official, like, in some ways, it's probably better to make it as inconspicuous as possible. True. Or maybe they just wanted to put it on a Memorex tape. Hey, yeah.
Who knows? Maybe when they after the speech, then maybe you start hearing Flowers on the Wall playing. Counting flowers on the wall doesn't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with a deck of 51.
Oh, that's right.
Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Don't tell me I got nothing to do. 11.
We are at 11. Or, a good way to fit that one in, by the way. Well, and it's right there. It's a tape deck.
Tape deck. But anyway.
He also has a tape deck. The dude.
But he has a bunch of Creedence tapes.
I don't think the cabbie listens to Creedence.
I don't think so either. I don't think he listens to Eagles either. No, he listens to a bunch of big band stuff.
Yeah. That's more his style. Mm-hmm. He was at a vaudeville type show.
Yes.
Like, come on.
And the tapes that we heard him listening to in the cab were like big band music.
Mm-hmm. So, anyhow, we get back to Snake, and they're getting him up, and they're gonna bring him to this ring. And again, he doesn't have his watch.
Nope.
He asks him, where's his watch? And they tell him, bedside table next to the kangaroo.
Yes. Yes, they do.
That's a dozen. Need one more.
Yep. Need one more to make a baker's dozen. But anyway, so they put him in this boxing ring.
It's like this big, would have been some, maybe it's especially Madison Square Garden, maybe it's somewhere else, right? Like it's an arena, and in the middle of it there's a makeshift boxing ring.
They put him in there, and
there's a bunch of there, and they're ready to cheer.
They're going to give him a fighting chance.
They're going to give him a fighting chance. Yes.
They put him in there with this big dude.
He's big.
This big, imposing dude.
Right? And the big, imposing dude, he's big. And they give him a little club, right? It's kind of like a little makeshift mace. It's got little, spikes on it, right? And, they turn the Snake, and they give him a few choices. There's a hammer. There's a chainsaw. There's a katana.
Mm-hmm. And what does he pick?
All right. There's
That's a baker's dozen, folks.
No. They give him the same weapons.
Yeah, they give him baseball bats. That have nails in them.
They have nails at the end, yes. So, and they're fighting, and again, like, this other guy's bigger, so he's easily throwing him against the other sides, and they're hitting each other. They're kind of hitting the bats together, and they're getting stuck or whatever. They're getting them, stuck in the bats, and they're tearing them out. And finally, Snake gets in a position where he's kind of able to get low, and he hits low.
Well, first Snake gets knocked against the ropes.
That's right.
And right up next to the ring, he sees this guy wearing his tracker watch.
Yes.
His tracking device.
Yes.
So he reaches down there, he flips up the eagle head, hits the button. And so that then we get it cuts to Liberty Island, and where his tracker goes
now
active.
About to go on this mission to go in, right? And one of the other senior guys is over there, and he sees that it's gone on, and he races out to the helicopter to tell Hawk that the tracker's back on, call it off. Essentially, is what happens.
Yeah,
right.
And they've only got 2 hours left.
There's about 2 hours left, right?
And so then this is when Snake gets up and he swings low, he hits low, and then he swings his bat and sticks the nails right in the back of the head. And I love this because then he lets it go and it's just stuck in the back of his head. It kind of rotates down a little bit, but he's just got this bat stuck in the back of his head.
And you just see the guy's eyes, his mouth's kind of open. It's like, his eyes are first like, oh shit, I just got hit in the gut with a bunch of nails.
And then I got hit in the back of the head with the same bunch of nails.
And then it's like he feels it as at first, he realizes it as a just going in before they finally settle into his brain.
And I mean, you also have the sound effect when it hits. When it hits his head, you get that thunk. It just kind of lets go of the bat and it just hangs there.
Yes.
Kind of almost like the swords in Gladiator. but it's not wobbling like the swords were.
No.
Anyway, so Snake uses that as a distraction to get out of there. Because didn't Brain and Maggie come in? Didn't they also create a diversion kind of thing?
So they create a diversion, right? Because they know what they're going to get the president. They're the ones that
that's right. They're the
escape.
ones. Yeah, they're the ones helping the president.
They go to Romero, right? And they get in, and Brain kills Romero.
Yes,
and then gets the president.
Then they get the president out. Okay, yeah. So Snake uses his victory, uses the riot that it causes to get out of there.
And so we also
he has gotten his gun back too. He has gotten his revolver back.
Yes.
So he's able to go up and get that. He does not have the MAC-10. The Duke still has that. Duke's
not letting go of that anytime soon.
No. The Duke likes his new toy.
But if we got two, there's a scene where after they shoot off the briefcase, they send a group to Central Park, right? To kind of help wave down a helicopter. Like that's kind of like the signal for like a food drop, bring a food drop. And so when they when the guys in the helicopter land, right? They get out and they see the briefcase and they bring it back to Liberty Island, right? So this is actually a little bit before. This is when they're starting to think that they need to send in a team.
Yeah,
because they haven't heard from the Duke yet. They haven't heard from Snake yet in a while.
Yeah. So, but now they have heard
Duke
from Snake.
And I'm sorry, Brain and Maggie, they have figured that they've deduced that where Snake landed, like where's the best place he could land and also take off in the most efficient way. And he realizes it's got to be the World Trade Center.
Yeah, it's the highest point in the city. Yeah.
Yes.
And so they get the president and they meet up with Snake outside, and then Cabby comes back up. And so wait.
And the fighter's name, by the way, that he fights with is Slag.
Yes.
Played by Ox Baker. That's a
name.
A very apt name for this actor.
Mm-hmm.
Ox Baker.
So I'm trying to remember, does Cabby come now or do they get to the World Trade Center first?
I think they get to the Trade Center first.
So they get to the World Trade Center. Because they're looking for a car. Once they...
Yes, that's when he shows back up.
They get there, they go up to the roof, and the crazies have beaten them to it. They've beaten them to the glider. And as they get up onto the roof, the crazies are detaching the grappling hook from the glider and pushing it over the edge.
Yeah, and then they push it over the World Trade Center, and it falls all those stories down, lands, and it destroys it.
Mm-hmm. So they can't fly away on it. So now they got to find a car. So they go back down, and they find a car.
They're going up and down a lot.
Yeah, and they find a car, and they go up to it, and it's not starting. So they go around to the hood, and they flip open the hood, and there's somebody in there. Wait, I guess this is... Or was that how they got captured? Because Snake, at one point, got shot in the leg with an arrow. With a crossbow
the rest
bolt.
of the movie, he's going to be limping.
Yeah.
No, that's how they get caught, because there's someone in the thing. Like they're
somebody
trying to figure
under
out
the
why
hood of the
it's
car.
not going to start.
Yeah, so that was earlier. Never mind. So he's limping all this time because he had a crossbow bolt through the leg. But anyway, so they've got to find another way out. So they figure Brain has the map. So they're going to take the 67th Street Bridge and go all the way to the wall. But they
realize they have the president, they have this, they'll be allowed
time is running out.
Safely.
So they got to get there quick.
They have less than 30 minutes at this point.
Yeah. Luckily, Cabby is still in the vicinity, and he comes up and he picks him up. And so while they're driving toward the bridge, Snake, he's got the Maggie and Brain had given him the tape, the president's tape, and so he takes out the tape that Cabby has playing in the tape deck, And he puts in the president's tape to make sure that it's the right one. And if you look real close, you can see him sort of pocket the other tape when he pulls it out of the tape deck.
You gotta look closely, but it's there.
Yep. And so he puts it in there, and you hear the president start talking on it. So they know that that's the correct tape. So he takes it back out, puts it in his pocket. And so they get to the bridge, and Snake is the one driving.
Yes.
Right now. So Snake's driving, Cabby is in the passenger seat, and then Brain and Maggie are in the back.
Brain and Maggie, they're in the back.
And so they're driving down. Brain is, telling him, when to turn left or right or whatever, because he's looking at the map.
He's giving directions to the back seat.
So they're going, it must be a somewhat incomplete map, or just Snake is not listening. Because they also start getting chased by the Duke's people. Yes. So Snake is kind of only half paying attention to Brain, but they end up running over one of the mines.
He's got a lot to pay attention to.
End up running over to one of the mines, and it just blows the cab in half. It cuts it straight down the middle.
In half, yes.
Like widthwise. So the front seats and the back seats are separated. And so, the two sides kind of slide the other direction. Snake gets out, Brain and Maggie get out. And then Snake goes to get Cabby.
I told you this or whatever.
Yeah. Then Snake goes to get Cabby out, and Cabby's dead.
Poor Cabby.
Yeah.
Kind of a unceremonious way to die.
Yeah.
For his character.
Yeah. So now they got to go on foot. So again,
remember our favorite green Cadillac with chandeliers.
It's coming at him. It's coming. It's not too far behind him. And so they're running down the bridge this time. And Brain is looking, and he's telling him, go left, go right, go left, go right. He got shot with an arrow in the... Yep. And then at one point, so he's like, okay, go left up here. And Snake and Maggie both go to the right. And Brain's like, no, I told you, go left, go left. So Brain goes left, steps on a mine, and blows himself up.
Kind of a weird way for Brain to die, to be honest.
Yeah. And I guess we didn't mention the president when they got out of the cab. But he was out. He had gotten out of the cab too. He was fine.
But yes, that's right. The president's too. We're not going to forget the president soon. He's going to play a very important role very soon.
Maggie and the president all went to the right, and Brain went to the left, and Brain stepped on a mine, and the other three were fine. So either it was an inaccurate map, or Brain was holding it upside down.
Fine.
So Maggie goes back, and she runs over to Brain and sees that he's dead, and she's distraught because this is her boyfriend.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, so it's been established, like Brain, it's funny, so the prison's about 10 years old. Brain's been there for 4 years, and he's just made a name for himself there, and they've met and established a life for themselves.
Yeah. And so Maggie sees...
All was fine and good until Kurt Russell came into their lives.
Maggie sees that chandeliered Cadillac coming down the road. And she decides she's not going to go with them. She's not going to go with Snake and the president.
No.
So she gets Snake to give her his gun. And she walks around, and she just starts shooting at the Cadillac. She starts shooting at the Duke. And one of the big things...
She is redecorating that Cadillac.
Yeah, so one of the big things about the Duke is that we didn't mention was he is A number one. The Duke of New York.
Oh, that's right. A number one. He calls himself A number one.
He even calls himself A number one. The Duke of New York.
Yes, this is good. I'm kind of dismayed that we have not mentioned it yet.
Yeah, me too.
So thank you.
But yeah, so anyway, so she's shooting at him, and she runs out of bullets. And so he just runs right into her.
Oh,
just plows into her.
This is kind of nuts, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
she, I mean, the camera doesn't even cut away.
No.
No. He drives full speed with that green Cadillac.
Yeah. Right into her.
And pins her against one of the other cars on the bridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She did.
I mean, like, she did. When that thing gets pulled apart, she's going to be in two.
Yeah. Yes. Just like Mel Gibson's wife in Signs.
Exactly. Except that was M. Night Shyamalan doing that.
Yeah.
Not Isaac Hayes.
No.
And I think he had, I don't know what car he had. It wasn't a green Cadillac.
No, it was not a green Cadillac with chandeliers. So they, Snake and the president, they're able to make it over to the wall.
And there's guards up there, and they're sending down rope that they can scale up, and it has a grappling hook on the other side.
Yeah.
It hooks it up.
Yeah, it's got
right. It's got a little winch on it too that could actually just pull them up.
Yeah,
where they don't even have to climb.
Yeah,
the winch will just pull them up.
So they get down there, and Snake, hooks the president up to it, and they lift the president out. And then he's sitting there waiting because he was able to get his timer watch back, and he's looking at it, and he's like running out of time.
Yes. Because remember, his arteries are going to blow up.
Mm-hmm. And so, but also we have the Duke who's getting out of his Cadillac because he just wrecked it, killing Maggie. And he's got the Mac 10.
He did not wreck that Mac 10 yet.
He's coming out there, and he's gonna kill Snake. And Snake's just sitting there waiting for the rope to come back down. And it gets halfway down the wall, and then you see a hand go and flip the winch off. And then it stops, and he's like, "Come on, bring it down, bring it down." And the Duke has Snake in his sights.
He's like, "What are you doing to me?"
The Duke has Snake in his sights.
And Snake's thinking, like, all right, are they like going back on this deal that they gave me?
Yeah, exactly. Are they going back on this deal?
That's what's going through his head.
But before the Duke can shoot Snake, you hear gunfire coming from the top of the wall. And here's the president with an M16. Just unloading into the Duke while yelling
with glee.
Yeah, with glee. the most gleeful murder
by a president in a movie.
By almost anyone in a movie. I don't know that there's any other.
I remember,
I don't know how many other movies have somebody who's this gleeful while he's killing someone.
I was just thinking, this movie was made in 1981.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we could film this scene in 2025.
No, I don't think so. I don't think you could.
Where the white president
it's just
guns down a black prisoner.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't fly today. But
especially if he's being gleeful.
Yes, but yeah, he's just unloading. He's unloading on the Duke, gleeful as can be, and he's just laughing, and he's saying, "You're the Duke. You're the Duke of New York, A number one. A number one."
I'm sorry. Even if you thought the rest of this movie was just okay, it would be worth the 90 minutes just to get to that scene.
Just to see Donald Pleasance with an M16. Gleefully.
Isaac Hayes.
Gleefully unloading a magazine into Isaac Hayes. But once he kills the Duke, then he turns the winch back on, and the rope comes down.
You may now ascend back up.
Now ascend. I just wanted you down there so you could see that firsthand. So Snake gets the rope, and they pull him up, and he runs. He gets over, and he limps over to Hawk. He limps over to Hawk.
Hawk's right there, and the doctor's there, ready.
And he's like, "Come on, do it!" And Hawk's like, "Where's the tape?" And so he reaches in his pocket, pulls out a tape, and hands it to Hawk. Okay. And then Hawk signals to the doctor to use the X-rays to.
He's got the little X-rays. They deactivate it. He looks at his watch. There's about 5 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
He watches it go down,
and then it hits 0, and nothing happens. And you just this sigh of relief comes out of
and his carotids then just explode.
So, and then Hawk, he stuck to his word because Snake gets that pardon.
He does get that pardon,
and so
he actually gets a moment with the president again.
Yeah, and so they take him over to the president. Well, while they're getting him ready because they have a camera crew ready. So they're going to, rather than the president personally being at the summit, they've got everything set up so that he can sort of be there remotely. So, they're getting him shaved and changed and cleaned up a little bit. And so the president, thanks Snake for rescuing him.
Right. No, he's doing a nice clean shave. He's got his entourage there, making sure he's presentable for the camera.
Yeah, and they have a nice little exchange there. He thanks Snake for rescuing him. And he asks Snake, he's like, you rescued me. What do you want? You can have anything you want. What is it that you want? And he just says, just a minute of your time.
That's right.
And so, they have a little conversation. And then Snake turns around and goes to walk off.
And as he's walking off, he's outside. He sees Hawk.
Yes, he sees Hawk, and
Hawk, he's talking to him. He wants to offer him a job.
Yes, he wants to offer him a job. And Snake, so at the beginning when they were in Hawk's office, at first Snake told him, "Call me Plissken," and then by the end of their conversation, he's like, "Call me Snake."
Call me Snake.
And so he's, they're talking to him, and Hawk is like, Snake, and he's like, I have a job for you.
He goes through this whole spiel, this job offer,
and Snake.
Right.
And then he's like, so what do you think, Snake?
And he's like, I could use your help.
I could use your help, Snake.
That's it. He finishes like, what do you think, Snake?
Snake is like, call me Plissken.
I love how he says that at the end.
Call me Plissken.
No, you can't call me Snake anymore. Yeah. You don't get that. You don't get that right. You don't get that honor.
Yeah. So he turns him down. He turns down the job offer and goes to walk away. Meanwhile, the president is getting set up for his speech. And, they got the cameras on him, and, they tell him that he's live. And so he starts
a nice little intro about hopefully this can bring peace to these nations and then to the world, that type of thing.
And they pop in the tape, and it's Cabby's music.
And the president looks dismayed.
And they're like, everybody's confused. And then it cuts back to Snake, and he's walking away, and he reaches in his pocket, and he pulls out a cassette tape, and he just starts pulling the tape out of it. Just pulling the tape out.
Crushes the tape.
Completely pulls it all out, then rips the tape in half and just tosses it to the side.
The music starts, and the credits start. And then John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson will leave the diner. And we have 14.
Yeah. So that is the amazing Escape from New York.
Yes, it is an amazing movie. And
love this movie.
Our own descriptions can't even really completely sell.
If you have not seen it, I highly recommend watching it.
Yes.
It is currently available to stream on Amazon Prime. So if you do not
own it, on Amazon Prime.
If you do not own it, you can stream it on there if you have a Prime account.
I think, I know there's a lot of dystopian type movies out there. If that's not really your thing, I think you would still enjoy this.
Yeah.
The dystopian part of it is not what is truly necessary for the plot.
It's not. Yeah, it's not about a dystopian
That's just
society.
kind of a setting. It's kind of the setting.
Yeah.
The plot is completely different, and the characters aren't really even concerned about it. So it's so well acted.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend to watch this.
Kurt Russell embodies Snake Plissken.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which is all the more upsetting that we didn't get a series of Plissken movies.
Yes.
We got a goofy sequel.
And it's funny because
15 years later,
the 80s. That's when they,
and that's it.
Yeah. And it's funny because that's the 80s. It's the 80s, and they started doing a bunch of sequels. Plenty of Rambo.
Yeah.
We did plenty of Rambo movies, plenty of Rocky movies.
Yeah.
They made a sequel to Predator very quickly.
Mm-hmm. They did.
They could have made another escape movie pretty quickly after that.
Mm-hmm.
They could have just called it Snake.
They could have. But no, they didn't. They did not. So,
but regardless, this still stands, and it's such a terrific movie.
Yes, it is. And our first John Carpenter movie.
Our first John Carpenter
podcast. Not our last. We will be covering more.
Probably won't be the last. I think we'll do at least two. I could see us doing Halloween. I could see us doing The Thing. It might be fun to do They Live.
I was going to say I could see us doing They Live. That's a fun movie.
So, there's others we could do too. So, I'm actually I would think that there's a few that have kind of reached kind of under the radar, kind of like cult status.
Mm-hmm.
That might be fun to get into. In particular, one of the ones I was thinking about was In the Mouth of Madness.
Okay.
And then we get Sam Neill. So, but yeah.
So
I'm glad, it's taking us close to 100 episodes, but we got there.
Yep. This is episode 97. 97 episodes. Whew. So
it's a lot of movies.
It is a lot of movies. But if you enjoy what you're hearing, then go ahead and check us out on our social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram and Threads. Is Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. The and is spelled out A&D. It's not an ampersand like the name of the podcast. We're also on X or Twitter. It is R&T Cinematic. And you can also check us out on Letterboxd. Read some of our reviews on various movies. Some we've done on the podcast, some we haven't done, some we will do, some we won't do. But that is Cine Adventure or Cine Adventure, CINE Adventure. And then you can also just send us an email. Let us know what you thought of Escape from New York. Do you agree with us that there should have been more Snake movies? More Snake Plissken movies?
Is your favorite Carpenter movie The Fog? Is
it? It could be.
It could be Christine.
There's nothing wrong if it is.
Nothing wrong.
Anyway, you can send us an email at robandtonyscinematicadventure@gmail.com. Once again, the and is spelled out A&D. It's not an ampersand like the name of the podcast. But and then if you like what you're hearing, go to your favorite podcast app, subscribe, give us a good rating and good review. That's how we move up in the rankings and in the search and the recommendations, all that stuff. And go to our social media, give us a like and a follow. And you can keep up on everything that we're doing so that we can reach more ears. We can reach more people that want to hear us talk about these movies that we love so much. So next time we're going to be talking about a movie. It's not going to be Pulp Fiction next time.
Not Pulp Fiction.
We've been referencing Pulp Fiction several times in this episode. But it's not because it's the next episode, because it's not. Pulp Fiction is coming up soon. It's coming up very soon.
Very soon.
But it is not the next episode. The next episode, we're going to go with a movie that's not necessarily on the top of everyone's minds.
It's not. It's definitely one that would be under the radar for most people.
But it's a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. I've seen it several times and I really enjoy it. But we are going to be talking about Lucky Number 11 with Bruce Willis, Josh Hartnett, Lucy Liu, Morgan Freeman, and Sir Ben Kingsley.
It's been a while since we had Ben Kingsley.
I know.
The Trans-Siberian?
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could talk about that next week.
Yeah. So we are going to be talking about Lucky Number 11 next time. So if you have not seen it, then you got time to watch it. But anyway, join us next time for Lucky Number 11.